Should a child who commits murder be treated by the courts as an adult? Increasingly across the country, that's just what is happening. Just last month, a Florida girl who was 15 when she killed her mother was tried as an adult and sentenced to 20 years in prison. As we first reported last November, 13-year-old Nathaniel Abraham from Pontiac, Michigan, made history as the youngest person in the country ever to be tried as an adult for first-degree murder. He was only 11 when prosecutors say he intentionally shot and killed a teenager. Under Michigan's new Get Tough on Juvenile Offenders law, he faced the possibility of life in prison without parole. But his defenders say the shooting was accidental and that Nathaniel Abraham is just a troubled boy too young to plan a murder and too young to understand the charges against him. He stands just 4 feet 11 inches tall and weighs under 100 pounds. And each day, wearing handcuffs and leg irons, Nathaniel Abraham is brought to the Oakland County Courthouse where he is on trial. His case has ignited a fierce debate over the proper treatment of juveniles in the criminal justice system. Amnesty International put him on the cover of a report called Betraying the Young, arguing that trying him as an adult is, in their words, a mockery of justice and a failure to uphold human rights standards for the protection of children. A team of prominent lawyers has jumped to Nathaniel's defense, led by Jeffrey Feiger, who has handled a number of high-profile cases.
Nathaniel Abraham is being tried as an adult, and he can't drive a car, he can't drink, he can't vote, he can't join the military service. He can't even go into 7th grade because he's too young.
Now raise your right hand, please. Right hand. Swear to tell the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
A court-appointed psychologist who examined Nathaniel when he was arrested at the age of 11 found that he had the mental capacity of a 6 to 8-year-old. Still, a Michigan judge ruled that it was appropriate to try him as an adult.
Look at the absurdity of this. If I had a client who was 30 years old, who was examined by a court psychologist and determined to have the mentality of a 6-year-old, that person could not be tried, let alone tried as an adult. He would be or she would be put in a facility and treated. I have an 11-year-old who has the mental capability of a 6 or 7-year-old, and he's being subjected to the trial of first-degree murder. Is that absurd or what?
What there is no question about in this case is that 18-year-old Ronnie Green was shot in the head outside a convenience store on an October night in 1997, and that the bullet that killed him came from a .22 caliber rifle fired by Nathaniel Abraham, who was standing in a cluster of trees about 200 feet away. Nathaniel says he didn't mean to kill anyone. He was just shooting at the trees and light poles. But prosecuting attorney David Gorsica says the boy was a sniper who intentionally murdered Ronnie Green, someone he'd never met. Nathaniel is also charged with shooting at a neighbor several hours earlier, narrowly missing him.
He was intent on killing somebody, and it didn't matter who it was. And unfortunately, Ronnie Green turned out to be his victim. In fact, he bragged about it afterwards. This is not your normal 11-year-old boy.
Do you think a boy that age is capable of deciding, I'm going to kill somebody, and then follow through on it?
Absolutely. I have 4-year-old twins, and believe me, they know the difference between right and wrong, and they know when they've struck their brother or sister. He's an 11-year-old boy. He knew the difference between right and wrong, and for someone to suggest that he didn't defies logic.
The Constitution of this country requires that Nathaniel Abraham be tried by a jury of his peers. Do you think that he is getting a jury of his peers?
Not a true group of his peers, no.
Does that go against the Constitution? I mean, you're a lawyer.
Yes. Does it? It seems to run in the face of the exact wording of the statute, but since the consequences are adult, and what he did, in my opinion, was an adult crime. I think it's the adults that should determine guilt or innocence.
We met Nathaniel Abraham at the Oakland County Courthouse, next door to the juvenile detention center called Children's Village, where he's been held since his arrest 2 years ago. His lawyer would not allow us to talk to him about the specifics of the case, but we did talk to him about what his life is like these days.
How do you like living at Children's Village? I mean, obviously you'd rather be at home.
I hate it.
What do you miss most about being at home?
Going outside.
When they take you back and forth, like this morning when they brought you over here, are you like this, or do you have handcuffs on?
Cuffs and shackles.
You've got shackles around your, where, around your ankles?
Yeah, like this.
Uh-huh.
Around there. You see the lines.
Uh-huh. How do you feel when they put that stuff on you?
Like a prisoner,
Well, you are.
basically.
We also tried to find out how much Nathaniel Abraham understands about his legal predicament, the charges against him. What does this boy, now 13 years old, understand about a case that could land him in prison for the rest of his life?
Do you know what it means when a police officer says you have the right to remain silent?
Yeah, you being arrested.
So 2 years ago, you were 11, and they said to you that you have the right to remain silent. Did you understand that?
No, I didn't understand it. He had some white piece of paper and he's reading my rights.
Rights. You know what rights are?
Not particularly.
Do you know what it means when they say the prosecution has to prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt?
Not really.
What do you think it means?
She have to prove me guilty with a big explanation.
Prove you guilty with a big explanation. An explanation that the jurors will believe.
Yeah.
And what about the judge? He sits up there on the bench. What's his job?
To me, just to sit there.
While he may be just a kid, prosecutors say Nathaniel Abraham has a police record of violence stretching back to the age of 9. A pattern Prosecutor Gorsica says is the primary reason he charged Nathaniel Abraham as an adult.
He had 22 police contacts for arsons, assaults, breaking and enterings. 5 of those contacts involved a weapon. 2 of them involved 2 school students. 1 of them involved a bus driver. He beat a 14-year-old over the head with a steel pipe.
Nathaniel Abraham did in fact have 22 contacts with the police before he killed Ronnie Green. But he was never formally arrested, let alone convicted of a crime. The prosecutor says that's because either the victims declined to press charges or the police failed to refer the complaints about Nathaniel to the prosecutor's office. If there is a presumption of innocence, as there is, and he's never been charged, arrested, or convicted, how can then you use that against him in trying to determine that he should be charged as an adult rather than a juvenile?
But when you look at these charges and type of crimes that he was involved in, whether or not he was charged and convicted, it shows a pattern of criminal behavior.
So where were Nathaniel Abraham's parents through all this? Just after Nathaniel was born, his father left the family. He was raised along with his brothers and sister by his mother, Gloria, who also worked the night shift as a lab technician, leaving him in the care of his older siblings.
Does it make you sad sometimes that your father's not around?
Yeah, and it make me mad sometimes too.
Why?
Because it's just leaving my mama there all by herself. Take care of us.
And that's tough.
Yeah.
Gloria Abraham says she knew her son was troubled, and for years she tried to get help for him, but says the authorities gave her the runaround.
When the police would come to my house with complaints from the parents or the neighbors, I would always say, "Can you do something?" So the police would tell me, "Well, you need to go out to the juvenile court and do the necessary thing that they need you to do." Juvenile court would send me back. My word wasn't good enough. They wanted someone else's.
So you went to the police send you to the juvenile authorities.
They send me back.
They send you back.
I go back to the juvenile and give them what I could give them. It wasn't enough.
Is it true what she says, that she did reach out for help? And
She, in fact, petitioned the juvenile court to declare Nathaniel incorrigible.
And he admits Nathaniel didn't get the help he needed.
The system failed him. We owe her an apology. Obviously, a number of agencies dropped the ball. And it's unfortunate because 2 lives are very deeply affected, and as well as 2 families.
The Michigan State Legislature had boys like Nathaniel Abraham in mind when in 1997 it enacted one of the country's toughest juvenile offender laws. Until then, violent young offenders were automatically freed at age 21. The new law, put into effect just months before Nathaniel Abraham shot Ronnie Green, permits kids under the age of 14 charged with murder or other violent crimes to be tried as adults, which could keep them behind bars for life. State Senator William Van Regenmorter was the driving force behind the law.
There's a cold-bloodedness, a conscienceless attitude on the part of some of these young people that is absolutely shocking and, frankly, I think imperils the safety of a lot of people.
Nobody knows that better than the family of Ronnie Green, the young man shot dead by Nathaniel Abraham. Nicole Green is Ronnie's sister.
Nathaniel, who's now 13 years old, could end up getting a life sentence in prison without the possibility of parole. Do you think that's fair?
Yes. You ask me why, maybe? I feel, one, because he'll spend the rest of his life in prison. Me, I will never see my brother again. Never. Only thing I have to go see is a tombstone where my brother lay. But for his family to, they can go see him.
I don't want him in no prison. He doesn't belong there. My son needs help. He doesn't need harm.
And you think if he goes to prison, he will be harmed?
Oh, yeah. To put him in a prison is like putting him in the jungle with wild animals, and anything could happen to him, and it's just not the right setting for him, period.
As for Nathaniel, he's not thinking about a lifetime in prison. Like many young kids his age, he has big dreams.
When you look to the future, when you grow up, you have any idea what you want to do, what you want to be?
Yeah, I want to go to law school.
You want to do what?
Go to law school.
Why?
Because they make a lot of money.
Before all of this happened in your life, did you want to go to law school?
No.
What did you want to be before?
Basketball player.
If you had one wish, Nate, what would it be?
Get out of here.
And go home.
Yeah.
Free and clear.
Yep.
Nathaniel Abraham was convicted by a jury of second-degree murder. Instead of going to jail for life, the judge ordered Nathaniel to serve 7 years at a maximum security juvenile detention center and then be set free at the age of 21.